Hello, it's Willie from the Ozarks, and we're ready for our August the 18th lesson in A Course in Miracles workbook for students. Lesson 230. We're reading out of the original edition. Now will I seek and find the peace of God. Now I will seek and find the peace of God. I've for many years I've seen people that have been seeking and seeking for samadhi or self-realization or to know yourself, or always seeking. But we want to seek and find. Very, very important. So now, not tomorrow, now I will seek and find the peace of God. In peace I was created, and in peace do I remain. It is not given me to change myself. How merciful is God, my Father, that when He created me, He gave me peace forever. Now I ask but to be what I am. And can this be denied me when it is forever so? And the prayer, Father, I seek the peace you gave as mine in my creation. What was given then must be here now, for my creation was apart from time and still remains beyond all change. The peace in which your Son was born into your mind is shining there unchanged, and I am as you created me. I need but call on you to find the peace you gave. It is your will that gave it to your Son. Now will I seek and find the peace of God. Okay, let's take a look at our text reading, and we are in chapter 4, ready for paragraph 19, but I want to back up to, at least 18. Before I do, while you're turning there, if you'd like, I have a couple things I want to read to you. One out of the Bible. We're going to be talking about this at the end of our reading today, so I wanted to give you a little heads up. In John chapter 16, verse 31, 32, and 33, he says, Jesus answered them, do you now believe? He's talking to his disciples. Do you now believe? Behold, the hour cometh, yea, is now come, that you shall be scattered, every man to his own, and shall leave me alone. And yet I am not alone, because the Father is with me. These things I have spoken unto you, that in me you might have peace. In the world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. All right, so we're going to look at that. He says, be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. While you're turning, and I want to show you this too. This is a Russian sage. The Latin name for this, let me see if I can find it here. I wrote it down. It's Latin name is Perovskia Antropolicafolia. So it's a Russian sage. I know it's a good attractor of bees. I was telling the lady that worked at the nursery where I bought this, I'm going to give it as a gift to someone, that sage is the one nectar that bees can take their nectar from, that any of the sages makes really good honey. It's real clear, real white, real clear looking. And but the thing unique about it is it never crystallizes. So, at least that's what I've heard. I don't know, I say never, I could be wrong on that, but I've heard that no matter how long you keep it, it'll never crystallize. Like so many honeys that you've got to put it in warm water bath and heat it up in order to melt the sugar crystals that form. Sage honey doesn't do that. And I'm going to try this as a new experience. I'm going to give this sage to a friend of mine with the idea that to share it with others as it proliferates, and maybe share some back towards me, because I don't have any. but I'm riding my motorcycle and I didn't want to take it. And besides that, I thought, well, that'd be a neat thing. Cast your bread upon the water, and in many days it shall return to you, it says, I think, in Ecclesiastes. Well, I'm going to give this to a friend and say, get it growing good. And if you ever get a little extra, remember me. Okay? Some things that are really nice about it. Sage is wonderful at, I can't say that it does this. I can only say that it's been used, because that's what I know, is that people have used it for these things in the past. Soothing an upset stomach. It's been used for flus and cold as a remedy. And with the aromatic and the volatile oils that come off of it, a lot of people use it as a steam to clear your sinuses. And it's also can work good as a wound wash. When I get bit by insects, and I think that, like, I got bit by my copperhead and fiddleback, this was the plant that the essential oil we used on those wounds, along with some other ones. But that's what I've used it for, and what a lot of other people have used it for, are those other things. So Russian sage. I'll just set it here, this nice little park setting, big rock here. I'm down here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. All right, lesson 230 again. Now will I seek and find the peace of God. But before we're going to go to our text reading, let's start at paragraph 18. Release yourself and release others. Do not present a false, unworthy picture of yourself to others, and do not accept such a picture of them yourselves. Do not accept that unworthy picture, a false picture of others to yourself. See them as holy. Don't see them as sinful, even if they see themselves that way. Look right through it to the truth in them. The ego has built a shabby and unsheltering home for you because it cannot build otherwise. Do not try to make this impoverished house stand. Its weakness is what? Your strength. So the ego's weakness is the soul's strength, your true self. Only God could make a home that is worthy of His creations, who have chosen to leave it empty by their own dispossession. Yet His home will stand forever and is ready for you when you choose to enter it. Of this you can be wholly certain. God is as incapable of creating the perishable as the ego is of making the eternal. I like the way you use creating when it comes to what God makes, and the word making when we refer to what the ego makes. So God is as incapable of creating the perishable as the ego is of making the eternal. And 19. Of your egos you can do nothing to save yourself or others, but of your souls you can do everything for the salvation of both. Humility is a lesson for the ego, not for the soul. Humility is a lesson for the ego. Your ego, be humble, be meek, be quiet. It's not a lesson for the soul. The soul's beyond humility because it recognizes its radiance and gladly sheds its light everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. The meek shall inherit the earth because their egos are humble. And this gives them what? Better perception. The kingdom of heaven is the right of the soul, whose beauty and dignity are far beyond doubt, beyond perception, and stand forever as the mark of love of God, the mark of the love of God for His creations, who are wholly worthy of Him and only of Him. Let's read that again. The kingdom of heaven is the right of the soul, whose beauty and dignity are far beyond doubt, beyond perception, and stand forever as the mark of the love of God for His creations, who are wholly worthy of Him and only of Him. Nothing else is sufficiently worthy to be a gift for a creation of God Himself. 20. I will substitute for your ego if you wish, but never for your soul. A father can safely leave a child with an elder brother who has shown himself responsible, but this involves no confusion about the child's origin. The brother can protect the child's body and his ego, which are very closely related. But he does not confuse himself with the father. Because he does this. Let's back up. The brother can protect the child's body and his ego, which are very closely related. But he does not confuse himself with the father because he does this, although the child may. I can be entrusted with your body and your ego simply because this enables you not to be concerned with them and lets me teach you their unimportance. I could not understand their importance to you if I had not once been tempted to believe in them myself. Let us undertake to learn this lesson together, so we can be free of them together. I need devoted teachers who share my aim of healing the mind. The soul is far beyond the need of your protection or mine. Remember this. In this world you need not have tribulation, because I have overcome the world. That is why you should be of good cheer. So he's updating what he gave us 2,000 years ago. The new update. You get an update. In this world you need not have tribulation, because I have overcome the world. That is why you should be of good cheer. So again, out of John chapter 16, verse 33, these things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. So this new way of looking at it, or maybe not really a new way, but maybe a little clearer way, or another way that makes it clearer for me anyway. In this world you need not have tribulation. He doesn't even want us to have tribulation, because I have overcome the world. Remember, we're one with him, and because he's done it, we can do it because we're one. That's his journey, and that's our opportunity to align with the Christ. In this world you need not have tribulation, because I have overcome the world. That is why you should be of good cheer. So keep smiling. I was talking to a fellow earlier before I sat down. He said, keep on smiling. I thought, I guess I'd been smiling. That was good to know. All right, let's take a look at our lesson for today, 2:30. Now will I seek and find the peace of God. And this is our last of the 10 lesson series under what is forgiveness. Forgiveness recognizes what you thought your brother did to you has not occurred. It does not pardon sins and make them real. It sees there was no sin, and in this view are all your sins forgiven. What is sin except a false idea about God's Son? Forgiveness merely sees its falsity, and therefore lets it go. What then is free to take its place is now the will of God. An unforgiving thought is one which makes a judgment that it will not raise to doubt, although it is not true. The mind is closed and will not be released. The thought protects projection, tightening its chains so that distortions are more veiled and more obscure, less easily accessible to doubt, and further kept from reason. What can come between a fixed projection and the aim that it has chosen as its needed goal? An unforgiving thought does many things. In frantic action, it pursues its goal, twisting and overturning what it sees as interfering with its chosen path. Distortion is its purpose, and the means by which it would accomplish it as well. It sets about its furious attempts to smash reality, without concern for anything that would appear to pose a contradiction to its point of view. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is still and quietly does nothing. It offends no aspect of reality, nor seeks to twist it to appearances it likes. It merely looks and waits and judges not. He who would not forgive must judge, for he must justify his failure to forgive. But he who would forgive himself must learn to welcome truth exactly as it is. Do nothing then, and let forgiveness show you what to do, through him who is your guide, your Savior and defender, strong in hope and certain of your ultimate success. He has forgiven you already, for such is his function given him by God. Now must you share his function and forgive whom he has saved, whose sinlessness he sees, and whom he honors as the Son of God. Oh, I hope you all got a whole lot out of that the last 10 days as we read it. Tomorrow we'll be going on to the next reading, which will be what is salvation? One of the things that he talked about in here about how that doubts are more difficult to find when you're not practicing forgiveness. We want to be able to doubt really well what's not real. You want to say, I'm not sure that's real. That's good. Okay? There's so much in that. Let's go one more time and look at our lesson for today. Now will I seek and find the peace of God. In peace I was created. In peace I was created. And in peace do I remain. It is not given me to change myself. How merciful is God my Father, that when he created me, he gave me peace forever. Now I ask but to be what I am. And can this be denied me when it is forever so? In peace I was created, and in peace do I remain. It is not given me to change myself. How merciful is God my Father, that when he created me, he gave me peace forever. Now I ask but to be what I am. And can this be denied me when it is forever so? And the prayer, Father, I seek the peace you gave as mine in my creation. What was given then must be here now. For my creation was apart from time and still remains beyond all change. The peace in which your Son was born into your mind is shining there unchanged. And I am as you created me. I need but call on you to find the peace you gave. It is your will that gave it to your Son. It is your will that gave peace to your Son. Thank you for it, Father. Be sure to say that prayer. Now will I seek and find the peace of God. Hey, I got to make one correction. I was thinking that this, since it said the volatile oils, this is that Russian sage, that I had put it on my snake bite and my spider bite, and I was thinking of lilac. Was it lilac? Yeah, lavender. And this is not lavender. I bought some lavender at the same time to give to another friend. So I got them confused. Oh, it does smell good. It smells like sage. And the bees were just working all over it when I got it today. All right. Now will I seek and find the peace of God. You go your way rejoicing in the peace of God. Now will you find the peace of God. Now will I find. Now will I seek and find the peace of God.